The wind's clawing at my roof like it's got a personal vendetta, trying to rip the tiles off like they're stuck on bandages. I'm up here, sprawled out, gripping the shingles like a terrified crab on a slippery rock. Below, our quiet cul-de-sac in Willow Grove, North Carolina, is turning into a muddy, makeshift river. Hurricane Orion, a Category 4 beast with a bad attitude, is roaring in, and let me tell you, it's not here to make friends. But my biggest worry isn't the storm's wrath or the creaking roof under me. No, my biggest worry is Evelyn Carter, the iron-fisted queen of our HOA, who's about to drown us all in her obsession with control. I yell down to my wife, Laura, who's in the driveway, cool as a cucumber in her neon green rain boots, stacking crates of premium spring water into our SUV. Laura, Evelyn's gonna get us all killed. The wind snatches my words, flinging them toward the next county. Laura doesn't flinch, just keeps loading. That's what you said when those raccoons took over Mr. Delaney's compost pile, Jack, she shouts back, smirking. You swore they were planning a coup. I clutch a loose gutter that's trying to break free and become a missile. They had a system, Laura. This is worse. This is Orion, and Evelyn's playing God with our flood pump. Willow Grove is your textbook suburban dream. Neat lawns, houses in shades of gray that Evelyn personally signs off on, and a VYB that screams, don't step on the grass. But here's the catch: our neighborhood was built on what my buddy, a geologist, called a floodplain with ambition. One hard rain, and we're auditioning for a role as a lakefront community. Our only shield against becoming an aquarium is a beast of a diesel pump we call Goliath, tucked in a concrete bunker at the edge of Maple Lane. Most days, Goliath naps quietly, but when storms like Orion roll in, it's our lifeline, the only thing keeping our basements from hosting fish. Evelyn, though, treats rules like they're carved in stone by some divine HOA deity. She's 5 feet 2 inches, armed with a clipboard she wields like a warhammer, and once sent me a violation notice because my patio chairs were aesthetically discordant with the approved coastal palette. This is North Carolina. Folks, our seasons are muggy, muggier, and monsoon. Coastal palette? That's code for Evelyn didn't like my red cushions. But her latest stunt? It's not about chairs. It's about Goliath's keys, and it's about to turn our neighborhood into a swamp. Yesterday, with Orion's shadow looming, I was at the pump station with Mr. Callahan, my 82-year-old neighbor who still mows his lawn in dress shoes and once chased a stray cat with a broom. Convine said it was a spy. He's patting Goliath's steel door like it's an old friend. Think she'll hold, Jack? He asks, voice like gravel. Always has, I say, faking confidence. Just need the keys to fire her up. That's when my stomach drops. The lockbox, a clunky metal thing bolted to the wall when open. The code, for -3-2-1. Evelyn's idea of Fort Knox-level security isn't working. I punch it again. Nothing. My heart stutters. Flashback to last month's HOA meeting in the community center, a room smelling of burnt coffee and quiet rage. Evelyn, in a blazer the color of oatmeal, stood at a wobbly podium, her voice dripping with smug authority. For enhanced security, she declared, access to the flood pump will now follow a rev-said protocol. She paused, peering over glasses chained with tiny starfish charms. A new key system will be implemented, shared only with the designated flood coordinator. My hand shot up. Evelyn, what happens if you're, say, on your annual scrapbooking retreat when the floods hit? Who gets the keys then? Her glare could have melted steel. I have deputies, James. The system is flawless. Her deputies? Her husband, Gerald, who communicates in grunts, and her yappy chihuahua, Sir Puddles, who's more likely to chew the keys than guard them. Back to now, rain's falling in heavy, stinging sheets, and panic's clawing at my gut. I call Evelyn. Voicemail. Her message is a crisp lecture about proper channels. I leave a desperate plea. Evelyn, it's Jack. We need Goliath's keys. Now. No response. Laura finds me staring at the locked pump house, water pooling around my boots. What's wrong? She asks, half concerned, half braced for my next rant. Evelyn's locked us out of our own salvation. I say. She's gone full dictator. As Orion's fury builds, the sky turns a bruised, churning gray. News channels are screaming evacuation orders for coastal zones, and while we're not beachfront, Willow Grove floods if a sprinkler runs too long. I spot Evelyn through my kitchen window, out in the storm in a lime green poncho, measuring the gap between Mrs. Langley's rose bushes and the property line with a tape measure. This woman would alphabetize her spice rack during a nuclear strike. I can't take it. I march out, wind tearing at my jacket. Evelyn. I shout. Hurricane. Flood. Pump. Keys. Ring any bells. She turns, slow and deliberate, like I've interrupted her curing cancer. James, I have everything under control. The Willow Grove HOA Emergency Manual, version 8.2, states pump activation requires my VY Sewell confirmation. I snap. In 2 hours, the only manual we'll need is how to build an ark out of patio furniture and regret. Give me the keys. She pats her fanny pack laminated, naturally. They're secure, James. My system is ironclad. Neighbors gather, soaked and desperate. Mr. Callahan's face is thunder. The new couple, the Wilsons, look like they're regretting their move. Mrs. Wilson pleads, our garage is flooding from your mandatory lawn watering yesterday. Evelyn just smiles, that condescending smirk that says, you'll thank me when you understand my genius. She spouts jargon about proactive asset deployment and ratified protocols. I'm losing it. Laura, watching from our porch, sighs. She can't be that stubborn, can she? I shake my head. Laura, Evelyn would argue with Noah about ark building permits while the floodwaters hit her neck. Inside, I check my emergency stash, generator fuel, first aid kit, an inflatable shark flow tie Laura keeps losing. My mind races. Can I pick a steel lock in a hurricane? Doubtful. Hot wire a diesel pump? I'd electrocute myself. Orion hits full force, rain like a fire hose, wind screaming, bending oaks like they're doing yoga. Our lights flicker, then die. Laura's with our daughter, Emma, at the kitchen table, surrounded by flashlights. Emma, 6, is coloring a dragon riding a tsunami, unbothered. My phone, triple-bagged in Ziplocs, buzzes with our secret neighborhood group chat. Mr. Callahan, water's up my steps. Pumps off. Mr. Wilson, is our patio saw the drainage ditch now? Someone else saw Evelyn at the pump house, laminating something, and saw the saw storm. I pull on a yellow poncho, looking like a soggy lemon, and wade into the chaos. Water's at my calves, tugging like it wants my shoes. There's Evelyn, under a flimsy umbrella, feeding paper into a battery-powered laminator. The paper reads, keep out, official HOA business. I roar, Evelyn, are you insane saw? We need the pump. She looks up, annoyed. Not yet, James. My calculations, based on tidal charts and sparrow migration patterns, say we wait 22 minutes to conserve energy. I'm speechless. Evelyn, my patio chairs are floating toward Virginia. Your calculations are about to be alligator food. Sir Puddles, yapping from her porch, seems to agree. I grab Goliath's door. Lock tight. Evelyn, open this now saw. She tuts. Unauthorized access is a Class B violation, James. Page 92, subsection G. Then it hits mesh, not just refusing. She saw sabotaging us. Where are the keys? I growl. She clutches her fanny pack. In a secure, off-site location. I point at her pack. It's saw on your hips, saw. You lunatic. A new voice cuts through Mrs. Ortiz from across the street, holding a Ziploc-bagged phone. Jack, I saw her this morning. She swapped the lockbox keys for a new padlock. I got photos. The truth lands like a punch. Evelyn didn't just change the code. She stole our lifeline to keep her grip on power. Fury replaces fear. You saw them, Evelyn. Mrs. Ortiz has proof. Her umbrella flips inside out, soaring off like a drunk kite. She doesn't blink. It's asset protection, James. To prevent unauthorized pump parties. The water's at my thighs, debris smacking my legs. You've got 60 seconds to hand them over, or I start my own party, and you're not in VY, Ted. She stands firm, rain flattening her hair, defiance etched on her face. My brain scrambles. Reason with her? Failed. Tackle her? Laura would divorce me. Accept our fate? No way. Then, a wild idea sparks. Years ago, before Laura, before Willow Grove, I was at a barbecue festival in Memphis and asked how I ended up judging a rib-off after too many beers. I saved a retired Marine General, Clarence Bulldog Hargrove, from choking on my spicy rib glaze. He handed me a sauce-stained napkin with a number. Kid, if you're ever in a mess only the Marines can fix, call this. And never cook ribs again. I kept that napkin, laminated, in my wallet. Water's at Evelyn's fanny pack now. Last chance, I say, eerily calm. Keys, or I make a call that'll shake this zip code. She scoffs. Who, your book club? I pull out the napkin, shielding my phone. Think bigger. Think Marines. I dial. A voice like a chainsaw answers. Hargrove. Who's this, and why are you on my crisis line? I dive in. Jack Harper, Memphis Rib Guy. Code Poseidon in Willow Grove, North Carolina. Hostile entity Evelyn. EVLYNAS hijacked our flood pump. We're drowning, sir. A pause. Harper. The Rib Pyro thought you were in hiding after that hot sauce fiasco. Evelyn, huh? Arm. Fanny pack and a will to break lesser men, sir. Possibly rhinestones. He grunts. Sit tight. I'll send the Corps of Engineers. And Harper? You owe me new dress blues. Those ribs ruined mine. Click. Evelyn staring, skeptical. Talking to your mom, James? I grin. Nope. Uncle Sam. He's not thrilled about your rhinestone sabotage. Minutes drag like hours. Water's climbing, carrying branches, a kid's tricycle, one of my patio cushions. Evelyn mutters about frivolous calls. Then, a deep rumble cuts through the storm. Headlights huge ones pierce the rain. Two massive olive green trucks, built to haul tanks, churn through the flood like it's a puddle. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers glows on their sides. Evelyn's jaw drops, her laminated sign slipping into the water. A figure steps out, unfazed by the thigh-deep flood. Major Reynolds, Corps of Engineers. Mr. Harper, General Hargrove sends regards and a note about ribs and ruined uniforms. What's this about a rogue HOA and a pump? I shake his hand, relief hitting like a tidal wave. She's got the keys hostage, I say, pointing at Evelyn, who looks like her chihuahua just defected. She sputters. This is an outrage. I'm the elected HOA president. You need permits. Reynolds doesn't blink. Ma'am, in a federal disaster, we saw the permit. Hand over the keys. Evelyn clutches her fanny pack. They're HOA property. Reynolds sighs, radioing, Plan B. Get Big Mike up. Code Karen. Another truck rolls in, a flatbed with cranes and what looks like a sci-fi battering ram. Big Mike's emergency lock busting is stenciled on it. Big Mike, a human bulldozer, steps out. Another HOA tyrant. Major? She tried to commandeer your trucks for a bake sale? Reynolds smirks. This one's got rhinestones. Mike eyes Goliath's door. 5 minutes. 10 if she quotes more bylaws. Local cops arrive, sirens whining. Officers Brooks and Tate, looking like wet puppies, got Evelyn's 911 call about military invasion and pump vandalism. I explain, hurricane, flood, pump. She's got the keys in her sparkly fanny pack. Reynolds adds, FEMA mandate. Help with her, or stay out of our way. The cops retreat to their car, shining flashlights and praying for coffee. Big Mike attacks the lock with a tool like a futuristic crowbar. A screech, a crunch, and Goliath's door swings open. Evelyn shrieks, vandalism. I'll sue. Mike grins. Wait till you see my bill for rhinestone cleanup. Inside, it's Evelyn's craft apocalypse. Laminated signs, a label maker, and Sweet Mercy a bedazzled override switch, glued off with glitter adhesive. An engineer gapes. It's rhinestone shut. Reynolds removes his helmet, defeated. Of course it is. Evelyn tries to block the panel, wailing about Pinterest-inspired tamper-proofing. A young soldier, with saintly patience, escorts her out. The engineers work magic, scraping glitter, rewiring. A female engineer hits the start button. Goliath sputters, then roars, pumping water like a beast unchained. The street's water hesitates, then retreats. Neighbors cheer. The cops honk. Evelyn's unraveling. An engineer pulls the keys from her fanny pack after a Velcro tug-of-war. She lunges, slips on wet grass, and the keys arc through the air, landing near Sir Puddles. The Chihuahua, in a burst of rebellion, grabs them, buries them under Mrs. Langley's roses, and prances off. Reynolds laughs, cracking his stoic facade. Keys saved by a dog named Sir Puddles. You can't script this. As the water recedes, I look at Evelyn, defeated but unbowed, and wonder, was her need for control worth risking us all? And what about us did we push too far, calling in the Marines over a neighborhood spat? Tell me, folks, was I wrong to escalate this to DEFCON 1? Should Evelyn face consequences, or is she just a product of HOA madness? Would you have fought her, or let the flood win? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Goliath, and subscribe for more tales of suburban insanity. What's the wildest HOA drama you've seen?